not going to be the play, at least not the one you want to make if you want to find that win. The Erlong Shen, a real problem for them, but to say it was just the Erlong Shen, I don't think would be correct. A lot of things went well on the side of InControl in that game. You already mentioned xCovi. I liked what we saw from Outbowned as well on that ROM play when he had space, but really it was Rygaklu, I would say, along with Wicked in the Soul Lane that really broke the game open.
And Joltak playing the Baron in the later portion was making it difficult for Strategic on the Terra to really go in with the dash. Normally Terra's obviously want to find multiple routes, which is great against Joltak's Baron, which is also really good against certain players that don't have natural escapes, right? So that was the main goal. You take that aspect away from Strategic, he becomes less useful. One time he had to dash away from that ultimate, and as a result, he couldn't use his combination afterwards.
Looks like InControl are going to be first pick again. Coalition electing to be the second pick this time, and InControl will ban the same stuff. They take the Odin off the board and the Agni, exactly what they banned last time, and why not get that Baron one more time for Joltak?
Things are looking really clean yet again for InControl when they get the Baron. Being able to control the heal. The healing wasn't like the end of the world. It was like a little bit, I think it was 3,000 towards the end, but that adds up. When you're sieging for a Phoenix for that long with 2 ultimates out of the Humbats with a little bit of cooldown reduction. That was a full 2 to 2.5 minutes, worth like 4 to 5 waves, and that Baron healing will add up.
Well, I like this. So Coalition are trying to force InControl to do it a different way this time. The Erlong Shen and the Discordia both taken away from the mid and solo laner. InControl are going to keep some of the pieces, though. They still have the Unboss for Rygaklu. They still have Baron. They're going to send it over to Joltak. And this time, they're going to play the Kukulkan as if to show them how it's done, I suppose.
Maybe. Perhaps. They could be feeling that later down the road if it's going to be a similar story where you're dealing with a Berserker shield as opposed to the Warrior tab, and we'll see how the laning phase pans out.
He probably won't get soloed like 2 or 3 times, so it can't go quite as rough as it went last time, but we'll see. Erlong Shen has quite a bit of pressure. The Sobek coming through, though, might raise some questions about where that's going. Sobek could certainly be support, but he just feels so much more like a solo god. Maybe that is Erlong jungle.
Depends on the rest of the draft. I think Coalition are going to make a last-second decision depending on what the rest of InControl pick, because certain mid laners, let's say Zeus, if you can deal with a Zeus or an Alpwash, you're going to want to plug them on every rotation.
Looks like they are going to be banning away those mages, though, as you pointed out. They already have the Discordia, which they've taken away from them. They've banned the Alpwash and the Zeus. That's going to limit some of those mid-lane mage options as Jingwei comes back one more time for Coalition. InControl, they have some good mage options, but not as many.
Currently have Agni's banned.
Okay.
That's a little surprising to see. A Kukulkan, because of how frickle some of the repositioning out of the Fear No Evil is. It's not like a direct CC unless you can catch them directly over the wall. You have to be very mindful about that ultimate.
Make sure you have to time it based on where they're actually being pushed by that fear as ROM comes through one more time. Why not? The ROM looked excellent last game as well. Plenty more laughs going to be coming your way out there, chat, I imagine. And the Terra comes through. Still a little bit up in the air, but I got to think if it's between Terra and Sobek, you probably prefer the Sobek and Solo.
Yeah, you probably want to do that unless you're thinking about more late game aspects to just give your Terra the Earth and Fury levels that she really needs to start getting those levels online. And Terra and a Jingwei, relatively safe, honestly, whereas Sobek Jingwei is a little more aggressive. So up against a ROM and probably a Baron support, that's a lot of lane pressure you don't want to deal with. I'd like to see a Terra Jingwei in the duel lane.
Yeah, they should be able to clear pretty quickly right out the gate, but who do you think is going to win? InControl with a chance to close this set out right here, right now. Coalition would much prefer to try and take this to a 3rd game and keep their chances alive. Remember, InControl, if they grab that #1 spot, that's kind of it. It's just going to be them going up against the 2nd place from Xbox and the other 1st place team from EU on PS4. Let's get right into the action. A lot on the line.
Rygaklu playing that Humbats yet again, had a good performance. Beaudilla will be piloting the Sobek in the Soul Lane with the Guardian's Blessing, trying to be a little bit on the passive side, getting that GP5. So sacrificing probably the first 6 minutes or so of farm to be able to get the remainder of the game as an advantage.
I'm really surprised by this too. I mean, you got to get the sense that Beaudilla just wants to show he can style on the Erlong Shen as well, but instead allowing SweetPatato to play it in the jungle for him and try and get him to have a better game than we saw on the Susano. Not as if he, was playing poorly, but he just was not able to match the impact Rygaklu was having.
It's true. xCovi really likes this god, honestly, the Kukulkan. I think I've seen him playing it several times. And the way Wicked was playing the Erlang Shen in the last game, imagine having that kind of a lead from the jungle position. So I don't fault SmiteVOD playing the Erlang Shen. You're definitely not going to be playing Sobek or Terra in the jungle role anytime soon. So wanting to make sure that that control, also going for a blink a level 1 is going to really surprise InControl if they're not paying attention to their tab screen.
It certainly could, but he also has to be mindful. He's playing into Fear No Evil, one of the better controlling abilities just in the game, and into a Baron. So unless he's essentially perfect, he certainly could get punished. But as long as he can make it through these early levels, it's not as bad, because he can always pick up beads if he feels like he needs it later. It just depends on how well he plays throughout the early games.
Very true. As Outbound, grouping up with Joltak, has plenty of clear, but they're not playing it as if they want to clear. They just rather allow Strategic and Cbeaarr to push this one out because of the wraparound, but that's coming from Coalition.
Yeah, that SmiteVOD is coming in, trying to lock down Joltak, dashing in aggressively. Consigned Spirits for the heal is there, but the knock-up even better from SmiteVOD, and coming out from the Jingwei as well, but Joltak somehow makes it back into the tower line, and Outbound, of course. What else could I have expected hitting the laughs?
Oh yeah, all the laughs coming from InControl, surviving that time around. SmiteVOD still around the corner actually, but he is going to back. Speed buff due to respawn in 20 seconds. He wants to be right around the corner. I thought for a moment he might look for a blink play, blink, knock up, but the problem is he's level 3 and he didn't get his javelin toss. Or he's level 2 and he doesn't have the ability to get his javelin toss quite yet.
And he actually got tier 1 boots as well, but he's going to need a little bit of help as Wicked out cleared and the speed buff successfully stripped. That hurt SmiteVOD a lot. Wicked even backing in his face. That's never going to go through, sir.
Oh, definitely not. Basic attacks, just going to cancel that every day of the week.
There's that.
As right side mid Harpies have respawned as well. Rygaklu going to go for it. Gets one, resetting it to allow SmiteVOD the second one. Making sure that he's keeping his own speed buff timer on cooldown. And the idea there is to separate yours by about a minute or so, so that way when you try to go for the next invade, you have that separation to go for yours yet again.
A big fight, though, for Coalition so far. A 2-man stun with the wall into the 2-man knockup. Even then, it doesn't really net them enough to where they can afford to be any further aggressive. InControl have no problem standing toe-to-toe with this Coalition dual lane so far.
Oh, they were behind in the beginning of game number 1. Without giving up any deaths, they're still not that out of the game. They're actually ahead in terms of gold, despite giving up that speed buff for themselves. They're getting an advantage elsewhere. And I think that elsewhere is coming from the solo lane. Yep, Wicked with a 1-level lead.
He's gone right into the Warrior Tabi Rush as well. He doesn't work nearly as well as with Berserker Shield as some of our other warriors like Osiris, Bellona, Erlang Shen. So he wants those boots online. He backed as soon as he had a chance to finish them. Going to come bully SmiteVOD even more and throw off his back timing. And he knows he probably can't kill the Sobek, so that's why he's running around.
That's true. And the main goal for both of these teams is going to be the speed buff out of Coalition. Due to respawn in 15 seconds or so. After this wave, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wicked make that rotation, trying to be a bully yet again. But there's going to need to be some rotations from major stacks.
Rygaklu's nearby in the middle lane as well, so if they really do want the speed buff and invade, again, they can certainly try and make it happen.
There they go.
But it will not be easy. There's a nice rotation from Coalition. They've got Strategic here this time, major stacks as well. Rygaklu might be walking to his death.
It's possible, but look at this. 2 level 4s and a level 6 up against a 5 and 6. It is a 4-on-2. Nice blink, engage onto Rygaklu. A good defensive ultimate. XCovi making it happen.
Absolutely flattened his SmiteVOD. A great ultimate over the wall. They will not find the speed buff, but they bait SmiteVOD into a bad situation. He gets punished. Still not level 5 is the Erlang Shen, though it looks like he will be able to defend his buff.
For the moment, InControl could have still pressured it if they really wanted to after the rotation from XCovi, but instead they just assumed that the speed buff was already down. So Coalition struggling at the beginning of the game, InControl are the ones that are dominating the early game, not compared to the same ways game 1 started.
Oh, and that kill from XCovi was actually first blood. I didn't even realize that there hadn't been a kill up to that point. So XCovi getting a nice little bounty to put him out in front of major stacks as well. Level 7 already. Bookathoff finished. And remember, Kukulkan is extra happy to go into these mana builds that everyone else is going with because of his passive.
That's right. I think about 5% of your mana is converted into the magical power, which converts very well to the Book of Thoth once that's fully evolved, giving you another 5% of your mana.
It's absurd.
All the mana. Book of Dead,
Yeah.
Polynomicon. Like, these are the items you kind of want to get if you're Kukulkan.
Absolutely do, as SmitePatato finds the knockup onto Outbound, but not enough for any kind of kill. Look at the big rotation for the rest of InControl. Rygaklu blinks forward first. The pings are coming out, so he knew where he was. 9-turn Blessing will be here for the heal as overhand smash lands. Consigned Spirits as well. They will find the pull, but it's a heavy commitment onto SmitePatato, who's already underneath the tower.
The turnaround play, Joltak too far forward. Xcovi over the top, splitting the uprights. Not able to find anyone because Coalition spread out perfectly.
Coalition managed to defend themselves after InControl get aggressive in the duo lane. And Coalition couldn't capitalize on the back end once they had successfully kind of pushed them back. Joltak has his back stopped, but I think he would have been A-okay. I thought Coalition might have been able to get a little bit more.
I definitely agree with you there, Finch, but having to retreat as fast as they did, really fearful with how fast InControl were on the response team. That almost looked like a police escort coming through to assist their Hunter player.
Yeah, that was absolutely frightening, as xCovi unfortunately couldn't quite find anyone. That's the one problem with Kukulkan with his in-lane ultimates. The one we saw earlier was in the jungle.
That's true.
I think it was over the wall. You can't see it coming nearly as well. In-lane, though, it's on the ground. You can see it. You just kind of step out of the way.
And the thing is, a lot of these corridors in the jungle, when you drop the Kukulkan ultimate, Spirit of the Nine Winds, it takes up maybe 75% of that corridor space. So it's very difficult to miss that ultimate in the jungle, whereas in the solo lane, it becomes like a big hallway that you're throwing a pencil down.
Rygaklu drops the ultimate. Can't quite lock down Beaudilla, who makes it out of there A-okay. I believe they defended their blue buff as well, as the Sobek is happy to pick that one up for himself. They can't find much more pressure there, so they'll fall back. But it really does feel like a lot of this InControl composition is going to be reliant on how well xCovi can hit that ultimate. The tornadoes from Kukulkan are great. They really are so annoying in teamfights. But hitting that ultimate, the key targets, changes everything.
Especially when confirming objectives. No one from Coalition can match the burst damage from the ultimate.
That's
so
right.
InControl can straight up start objectives. If they even have a 4-on-2 window, let's say for 10 seconds, the burst damage from InControl is going to be absurd to handle from Coalition.
He also controls a ton of space with those tornadoes as well, so a lot of pressure onto xCovi, an experienced console player who certainly should be able to handle it at this point. And I like that he's willing to go to this kind of pick in this kind of situation where a win here puts them right on through, and they'll be the ones who are competing up against some of the best on console later on.
Outbound doing his best Jermaine impersonation, former Hunter from Mouse Sports. You gotta get a little bit of like notoriety before you just spam laugh and taunt.
It's a lot, right? He came in
like Jermaine
like
deserved, laugh. Like he stole Gold Furies with a basic attack repeatedly. Stole Gold Furies repeatedly with Astral Barrage.
He earned it for himself as Joltak goes up to the ultimate. They will find Strategic. The stun lands. Ultimate from xCovi. More than enough. Strategic had nowhere to go. That's 2 kills for the mid laner and 2 in total for InControl.
Just getting more stacks on the Book of Thoth after these kills is so important to separate himself away from major stacks. It's always going to be that power spike race between items, between levels, between relics. And so far, xCovi and the rest of his teammates getting a slight advantage, about 1,200 gold lead now as we're approaching the 10-minute mark.
Joltak and xCovi, that combination will continue to be problematic for Coalition. I don't just mean the stun into the ultimate from xCovi. Even if that pull,
is good.
Just locking you down inside the tornado. That's more than enough.
Like, you don't even have to find the stun, right? Like, on anyone. Just slowly but surely pull them in. Because the same width of Life of the Party is basically the same width of Spirit of the Nine Winds. It works very well together, expecting that to get only stronger as the game progresses.
Well, and xCovi working on Pen right away as well. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Spear of the Magus, but a lot of options available. He is going to be able to start burning the likes of Strategic even more easily. Even Beaudilla if he starts rotating too.
Could go Divine Ruin if he's afraid of some of the healing that Strategic could put out. Self-sustained from Beaudilla, self-sustained from SmitePatato. You got Devo Gloves from Cbeaarr. There's several options. That's why that tree is so good.
Yes, I actually really like Divine Ruin on Kukulkan. He applies it so well. It ticks over you for so long as well. It really is going to destroy your healing, particularly if he ends up fighting SmitePatato.
And even Spear of Desolation is like not unheard of, right?
Yeah.
because of the 10% cooldown reduction. Plenty of magical power. I believe it's 100 magical power with about 20 penetration. I think if you're looking for just straight up raw DPS, you go for Spear of the Magus. If you're looking for utility, you certainly want to go Divine Root.
We'll be clearing out some camps on the left-hand side. Gold Fury's up, but not a chance for InControl to grab it. Rygaklu's got to be careful, though, but a great Fear No Evil actually saves him on the back end. xCovi hits all three with the ultimate. That's insane. And now the life of the party going to lock down. Strategic overhand smash is there, and Rygaklu finds one more. InControl bringing down the house.
That's how you do it when you're Kukulkan. You just gobble up one, and you snack on two more for dessert. Rygaklu gets the monkey bounces, gets the overhand smash, forces out the airstrike. Having to retreat underneath is Cbeaarr. Gold Fury now even being started. InControl feeling frisky.
They absolutely should feel frisky in this type of situation. Beaudilla locked down from Joltak as well as Rygaklu, but he's going to try and make his way in. He's lurking in the waters. Gold Fury is still controlled. InControl grab it, and now they even have a chance for a kill on the Croc.
The Croc doesn't have that ultimate. He does have a pluck available. He's going to get slowed away. Nice kill yet again. More laughing this time out of Outbound, getting carried by Xcovi.
Yeah, birds of a feather. They can all laugh, I guess, if they're all happy to laugh together.
That's
Pyromancer will go down the Coalition. This is good recognition of an objective they can sneak back. But so far, this has been all InControl.
Oh, yeah. Between Rygaklu and Xcovi, they are holding each other's hands as they're traveling towards HRX placements as they find this win. Looking very solid after that first game, carrying that momentum here in the second.
Fear No Evil is being used on two. That does force out the ultimate from Major Stacks as well as the beads. But Rygaklu might pay for it with his life. He's been locked down and removed. Great job by Coalition to catch him out.
Just taking turns on the laughing scale. SmitePatato basically soloing him despite it being a 3-on-1. That's the way you shut him down.
He did most of the work, yeah.
Truly.
Certainly.
He laughed at the end of it.
That's the most important thing
just
you
like
can
that.
do is that laugh. Ha 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 ha.
That's a good one.
That's how Rom laughs. It's perfect. Dude.
Almost. You're actually like so close.
I don't have all the self-confidence that Rom has is what's missing there. As Outbound keeps the waves cleared up, the Rom putting in tons, well, not even that much work, if I'm being honest. He's putting in the most work in terms of laughing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Major Stacks in major trouble under that tier 1 tower. Another ultimate from Xcovi. Strategic very low. Wicked gonna throw out that spear. Trying to run away from SmitePatato. No longer interested in that chase through the tornado in a 5-on-3. InControl gonna go for this tier 1 mid tower.
That's a problem. If Wicked can dive tier 1s and tier 2s and just walk right back out. I mean, you got some issues to try and sort out here as Beaudilla not going to let them grab this tier 1 tower easily. SmitePatato wants to loop around, but can't find a way in. InControl do have to give up on the siege, but they already found their pick.
Oh, yeah. They're not worried about getting that tier 1 tower. It's on its last legs, not in terms of the health pool, but like any time InControl really want to commit to that tower, they certainly can. They could wait for a couple more power spike plays, looking at Rygaklu working on hi-rez Lament now, just to amplify some of those basic attacks and abilities. Getting a lot of physical power, which certainly helps the scaling numbers from the Hunbats.
All right, Outbound hitting some shots. Got to earn that laughter over here in the duo lane as Joltak is lurking in the jungle. Even Xcovi nearby. No way that Cbeaarr is going to come out now with all this presence being shown.
No, the bird is going to hide inside the little house. The SmitePatato and Strategic are around the corner, but they're quite far away. Rygaklu on the chase as well. This tier 1 tower on the left side doesn't have much life left in it.
No, not at all. Outbound should be able to burn this one down, and Joltak will force everybody back, at least for now. Rygaklu might have a chance to meet up with Major Stacks in the jungle. He's waiting patiently. Fear No Evil catches him at the tail end, but able to jump away.
Joltak gonna get stunned, rooted, knocked up, forced to go into the shell. Tornado a little late from Xcovi, was slightly out of position. Gold Fury not due to respawn for another minute and a half. So InControl casually stripping away some of these neutral objectives. The oracles, the lefts and the rights. That's a way to build off of a lead without overextending too far away.
You know, I know I initially said Spear of the Magus, but you won me over with Divine Ruin. I actually kind of wanted it to be Divine Ruin, but this is still fine. As Wicked dies underneath the Tier 1 tower, the apple's there. Ultimate comes out from Xcovi one more time. SweetPatato gets flattened, but he's still alive and gets the heal off. Wicked can't get the double this time.
No, Wicked was too red in his eyes for Major Stacks, where if he turned around and noticed that SweetPatato did in fact get hit by Xcovi's ultimate, all he needed was 1 or 2 basic attacks. Could have found the Furious Charge on top of it, but walking away with a tail between their legs, SweetPatato and Major Stacks, thanking their lucky star, still holding on to their Tier 1 middle tower as well.
Well, let me take a look at the chart here, Doug LeBlanc, as we put up at the top of the screen at the beginning of every game. 3,000 gold out in front, 3,000 experience, and it's been relatively up for the most part. So InControl haven't given anything back, but the game also really hasn't gotten out of control. Coalition can certainly still feel like they can fight into this.
But not if they lose the next Gold Fury. That's where things are going to get more slippery. Due to respawn in 20 seconds, Joltak going to get rooted. Eats the Unruly Magic follow-up. Sentry Ward's coming through, trying to control the left side mid-Harpy Vision. Coalition need to find ways to defend this, and it's not going to be due to steals because no one's going to match Xcovi's damage. They can't even allow the Gold Fury to enter the 25% health threshold.
Oh, Xcovi's in trouble. He's already used the Aegis, but lurking in the waters has forgotten all about him. Beaudilla's going to try and come back and save Major Stacks. The pluck is there, and Beaudilla makes the right play. Now it's Joltak in some trouble. The taunt comes out. Xcovi has an ultimate, but it doesn't save the life of his support.
Only hitting strategic. There goes the Tornado to peel for himself. Shell coming through, keeping SweetPatato very healthy. Xcovi caught between a rock and a hard place.
This fight's starting to get away from InControl a little bit. Rygaklu makes it back to the Tier 1. Outbound rolls away. But this is great timing for Coalition. They can now head right back towards the Gold Fury, even with Wicked grabbing the Tier 1 in solo.
No ultimate from Xcovi as he's still dead for 25 seconds. Outbound going to get zoned away from SweetPatato. Going to miss the rollout dash. Hit. Outbound should have been already using that ultimate, trying to steal the Gold Fury, but not able to be in position to do so.
Nah, he wants to try and solo SweetPatato while hitting 40% of his autos. Who goes up to steal Gold Furies? Not Outbound. Too busy laughing to worry about any of that. InControl, let the Gold Fury get away from him.
Is there something you want to tell us all there, Finch?
I mean, I feel like I said it.
There you go.
I don't know how much I minced my words.
You're so right. how dare me ask any further?
Rygaklu nearby on the Pyromancer, but they're not ready to pull this one just yet. Just yet. And just like that, really, Coalition are relatively back into this. To be honest, they were never really out of it. It was still very close. You kind of mentioned it. That next Gold Fury was going to be when they could start getting a real lead.
Yep.
But unfortunately, they lost the fight on the back end of it. They weren't able to actually contest the Gold Fury either because that Coalition can feel much more comfortable.
And it was off of just zoning 2 individual members. Joltak was a little bit too far away from the rest of his teammates. He should have been fine considering it was his base. It was like between the red buff and the purple buff where he was caught out. But honestly, Coalition was really abusing the missed position from the rest of their teammates. Yet again, Joltak going to be out of position.
Very, very low, and right there waiting for him is Beaudilla. Starts lurking in the waters. Xcovi also gets caught by SweetPatato and takes an unfortunate spill. That's 2 quick ones for Coalition, and they force out the beads from Rygaklu.
Wicked gonna get rooted in place.
Nice
Rygaklu gonna get plucked in. Defensive ultimate comes through after the death. It's gonna be a 2-on-5. Coalition are looking strong in game 2.
Well, this happened in a hurry, didn't it? Where Coalition are suddenly the ones in control. I hate to make the pun over and over again. Well, a lot less laughter coming from InControl, at least right now, as Coalition the ones making all the plays. They come back towards Pyromancer. It's really only Wicked, who does have an absurd level lead, but he can't get in time to defend.
He was a second too late. Stunned into the pluck. Forced to use that roar to get CC immunity. Outbound, looking for the shots. Astral Barrage coming through. 1 misses, 2 misses. Not even going to bother going for the third one. Pluck onto Wicked. Going to stop the rest of the chase.
Unfortunate. That means Coalition should be able to make their way out of there no problemo, and they certainly will after having grabbed their prize with the Pyromancer, the mid-tier 1, as well as a couple kills. Coalition now a little bit in control. Not really that, or not in control, but in the lead gold-wise. Not a ton, but it's back in their favor.
And 20 minutes in, we're going to start approaching that late game very, very soon. And Outbound on the ROM, certainly going to have more DPS compared to Cbeaarr, just on hitting 1 individual target. If Cbeaarr's hitting 2 or 3 with explosive bolts, then certainly he'll win that race. But unlikely situations. And you're looking at the control from Coalition with Sobek. Sobek has just more team fighting control aspect as opposed to Wicked on the Kukulkan. And I'm also looking at Major Stax' ability to strife multiple members. Xcovi has a lot of like space control, but not actual damage control. And I think a lot of that comes down to how Coalition can group up in some of these next team fights. And considering things are going to slow down for at least the next Gold Fury attempt, we can expect to see Coalition continue this pressure.
I would not be surprised if we see them continuing their aggression. Earth and Fury comes out. That will hit just about everyone. Rygaklu just barely gets away from the strife. But even though he gets off the Fear No Evil, he certainly has to fear MySweetPatato. He takes him down. They want the dive to keep on going. Wicked has the Rage Transformation, but it's 4 members. He has to be careful.
5 on 4. Cbeaarr going to strip away the red buff before making this rotation happen. Under his own tier 1 tower, Wicked is going to survive for the moment. Xcovi in a casual 1v1 against SweetPatato, forced to peel for himself with that tornado.
Help.
That's basically what he's screaming.
He walks back into the tornado to look for the heal. He finds it. So SweetPatato can come back and contribute. Joltak, though, caught by the stripe, stuck between the walls, lurking in the waters, and that's all it takes. Cbeaarr takes down Joltak. 1 more kill for Coalition, 2 for 0.
They're able to group up and really abuse certain members. InControl are just not playing cohesive Smite at this point. Coalition are the ones that struggled, but they're the ones that bounce back. It just seems that between these two teams, whoever falls behind early are seeming to come out on top. They cannot be stopped.
Maybe there's something to it, you know, maybe a little bit of overconfidence or something like that. I don't know.
It's like a boxer, like a little boxing match where you're absorbing so many punches and you're tiring the other guy out.
Right, his hand hurts now.
Yeah, pretty much.
From punching your face all that
like
much.
your face is stronger than their hands.
I don't know how true that is. Is InControl has kind of let the game get a little bit away from them. It's certainly not doom and gloom for them either. I'm not pronouncing the game over in either direction. But InControl, with the way they were able to pair up around xCovi on this Kukulkan with Rygaklu and Joltak there for lockdown, Wicked's early lead, you certainly thought they'd be in a better spot than this.
Absolutely, but the first Gold Fury went for InControl. Second and third goes to Coalition now. 22.5 minutes in, extending their lead to about 3,000 gold.
No Fire Giants yet, though. As you can see up here, there's 2 zeros
Yeah.
Near the Fire Giant. Something I've known as long as I've been here, even before that. I knew that element of the UI was there. I didn't just learn about it recently.
How recent did you just learn about it?
Like less than a week, I want to say. I was on the cast with Ryan, and I was like, well, Ryan goes, there's been 2 for the Team A and 3 for Team B. And I go, man,
how do you remember
that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, totally does it all the time, too. Those guys are sick. And then I looked, I'm like, no, they're not sick. It's just up there. Dang it.
I mean, when you're flying an airplane, you better have the proper tools.
That's true.
To be able to see every little thing.
That's exactly right. I'm glad it's there. It's very helpful. I just wish I'd known. I know now. I'll be using it all the time. As Rygaklu might be in trouble, Beaudilla is on the hunt. He even has the hat for it as well as he tries to zone away Wicked. Fire Giant below half HP. Wicked wants to make his way in. Stunned by the walls. He jumps, but a little bit too late. Fire Giant goes down for Coalition as the Golden Apple comes out.
Still going through. Wicked zoning out 3. Rygaklu in a little bit of trouble. Lurking in the water. Strategic comes through. xCovi going to hit 2 members, but not really making the difference.
Doesn't really find what he was looking for there. None of the carries end up getting hit. As SweetPatato's low, blink in from Wicked to try and find the lockdown. They might find Strategic as Outbound hits some honors and takes Strategic down.
It's a 1-for-1. If InControl can keep pushing forward and find maybe a couple more kills, they can start crumbling away at these towers. This minion wave is awfully close to the tier 2 tower, and the rest of Coalition are a little bit too far away from the defense, not healthy enough to want to contest this. InControl gonna grab the 1,500 gold, cutting the deficit to about 2,800 gold.
InControl grab tier 2. And now they can start moving around the map to go wherever it is they'd like it to go. It's 8 to 9 in terms of the kills, a 3,000 gold lead for Coalition. Add the Pyromancer to that as well, why not? As Cbeaarr is going to take down the tier 1 over on the left-hand side. No real way for him to be over to the right side in time to impact, so might as well push what he can.
Rygaklu could potentially look for a kill, but I don't think Cbeaarr is interested in continuing the pressure despite having a big, juicy wave right there. Rygaklu grabs the purple buff instead. 25 minutes in. Having to play defense against a Fire Giant side. InControl certainly can do so with xCovi's tornadoes.
They'll fall back for now. Remember, Coalition did grab the FG. They may have lost Strategic but it's on everybody else, and Strategic might be the least important one to have it. We'll certainly see as that one goes in favor of Coalition. They still have all 3 Tier 2 towers to go grab and a lot more gold to add to their pockets once they force them down.
4,500 to be exact. Rygaklu going to get pinned from SweetPatato. No real follow-up. A little bit of a damage check. Javelin Toss doing about 5 to 10% of that Hunbats' health. All 5 members out of Coalition just lurking around. Wicked gets spotted out. The little exclamation point over his head as he gets identified by the spies.
He's able to force Beaudilla's hand on the right-hand side. Strategic goes in and finds the stun onto Outbound. Fear No Evil does hit 4. Strategic gets removed.
That's a good one.
And it hits Cbeaarr in the back end. That's perfect. But Rygaklu takes a little bit too much damage and SweetPatato hunts him down.
That was a good 1-for-1 trade, but they lose their jungler, only getting the support. Meanwhile, Beaudilla in a 2-on-4. His teammates are nowhere near. This is a 2-on-4. Coalition are way out of position.
And they almost win it. SweetPatato finally in some trouble. Outbound rolls forward and punishes him summarily. Wicked has major stacks who's juking around inside the erratic behavior, but there's really nowhere for this Discordia to run. Just wants to trade her life away, but a double kill for Outbound as he finds 2.
Not sure about that play. Diving beyond the Tier 2 tower. Coalition.
There's the laughter.
Coalition were a little bit too ambitious for that one, and InControl can easily start swingling this lead back in their side. It's not too far out of their reach.
Now, as much as that was an overstep by Coalition, which is 98% what it was a good ultimate from Xcovi, is the 2% they give to InControl.
Yes.
And the other 98% is Coalition overstepping. But I like that InControl defended the Tier 2 in the first place. They weren't that far behind.
That's
and
true.
Instead of giving up a bunch of gold, they said, beat us here, and Coalition couldn't.
And the thing is, the range from Xcovi on the Kukulkan can't really be matched by anybody except for maybe major stacks. But you got to be awfully close to set him up for the strike. Like Strategic is going to need to dash in to find the root, be relatively close to find the stuns. Beaudilla's going to need to pluck to find somebody out of position. So Fire Giant, no Fire Giant, Phoenix defense, Tier 2 tower defense. Coalition are going to have to work for every structure and objective.
It's not going to be easy. Kukulkan, notoriously good at defense, able to drop those tornadoes, clear the wave so easily, and make it so you have to tank up everything every second you want to be in there. And that wasn't even really so much about the tornadoes. That was just a big ultimate Xcovi was able to find. I mean, as on purpose as him hitting Strategic was, the hit on Cbeaarr, I don't know how much credit I want to give my man on that one.
I mean, it just kind of, the universe has a funny way of unraveling things to you, where one door shuts, multiple windows opens, and things just kind of work for Xcovi at the end of the day.
That's just how it works sometimes. We'll see if InControl can make it work a couple more times, or if Coalition can actually close this one out. It is back and forth here in Game 2, and there it is, Coalition grabbing the Gold Fury, a little bit more gold in their pockets.
Their third one of the game.
That's right, I see that up there.
28 minutes in. No, I totally remember that one, Finch. How do you not remember these things?
That's right, yeah, I gotta just
You've been a caster for a year now, right?
That's right, yeah. Oh, a little bit over a year.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. September 1 when I started.
13 months. We're in October. Let's go.
It's a baker's dozen amount of months, right?
Yeah.
Is how that works.
Are you feeling spooky yet?
You know what? Everyone else is, and I don't want to be a party pooper, so I am. No. It's real scary in here right now as Coalition are grouped up to try and move in onto the Fire Giant, which has just respawned onto the map. Outbound, not as jovial as normal. We'll see if that changes in just a moment, as it looks like they've still got a little bit more that our players need to sort out. We'll give them a chance. Get right back with you.
No Halloween skins in this game compared to the North American set we were casting, where we saw that Cupid.
Oh, that's right, where he's literally
Spooky
trick-or-treating.
Cupid, yeah.
There's that cool Thanatos one, right?
You know, there's actually any games you're playing right now in Smite, casual, any mode, SPL, SCL, SGS, there's going to be a passive where if you play a Halloween skin, you're going to get like 5% extra DPS. Guaranteed.
Very true.
My words.
Those are real stats.
Get your Halloween
Totally
skins.
wouldn't make that up. He wouldn't lie to you. Not on Console Monday.
Oh,
you know, we stay 100% serious on Console Monday.
Look at his face. I'm serious.
That's a serious
5%
face.
DPS.
I think you're lying, but it is a serious face. I appreciate your commitment to the bit. As we get right back into the action, it's Coalition now trying to decide if they can start up this FG. Xcovi, as long as he has that ultimate, though, it is a scary prospect.
Yeah. Coalition need to find a way to like flank him from the side, find somebody to bait out that tornado. Okay, now the tornado's down. Nice stun also on the Xcovi, but nobody really in range to follow that up. Coalition just gonna flirt with danger and play with a dragon.
29 minutes into this contest, InControl want to grab the win and send themselves right on through to the placement stage, but Coalition don't want to make it quite that easy. Coalition, though, they recognize they can't just start up this objective. They've got to find a pick or something first.
Oh.
It's Beaudilla who goes in. He finds Joltak with the knockup, but Wicked is taking quite a bit of damage as well. The apple lands. Xcovi commits the ultimate. It does hit major stacks, but I don't think it's enough.
I don't know. The snipes are coming through. Not on the mark. Outbound is just not hitting the shots that his team is requiring him of. Wicked in a lot of trouble. Beaudilla looking for the pluck. That was a nice attempt from Wicked originally using that CC immunity. Good route onto the Sobek, going to prevent the tier 2 tower dive as Outbound rolling right into safety. And with the poke onto Wicked with all 5 ultimates from InControl off the board, this is where Coalition could feel safest attempting the Fire Giant.
That's right. They should be able to head back towards it without too much trouble. As Xcovi did eventually pick up the Divine Ruin, which I'm glad to see, but it might not help them much here on the Fire Giant. Coalition have control of this pit. They want to get their second one of the game. Outbound, though, finds Beaudilla early on. That is an important pick.
Rygaklu took a lot of shots from Cbeaarr crossing the road without looking both ways in a 4-on-4 situation here. Trying to go for the Fire Giant yet again.
Looks like Wicked might have had some trouble trying to make sure he's still connected. We'll let him get a chance to get everything sorted out. One more pause coming in because this is an important fight. Already, though, Beaudilla going down is a big win, I would say, for InControl to be able to find that pick. Outbound stepping up a bit.
And also buying more time for those ultimates to come through from InControl. Without Fear No Evil, without the Spirit of the Nine Wind, these jungle fights should go the way of Coalition. These shots out of Cbeaarr, like 3 of those explosive bolts right on top of the Hunbats, things were not looking pretty.
That's right, yeah. Rygaklu kind of forced back out on the back end of that fight as well. So we'll still see just how well everything will go here in this fight. Let's get back into the action. No more delay. I want to see what's going on here with this Fire Giant. They're still fighting even to this day. Coalition grabbed Pyro at the very least, and it looks like Wicked's good to go.
It's 2092. Day 36. No Phoenixes have been breached quite yet.
No, not yet. Not yet at all, but certainly the opportunity is there for these squads. We've seen one Fire Giant go down, as you point out here already, totally, which means this next one will certainly be the enhanced. Certainly make their life much more easy.
I thought you were going to go like deep into that word, the same way you were pulling out Soul Eater.
Well, Soul Eater is it's an important item. I don't know.
What about the enhanced Fire Giant?
No, I would never. Soul Eater's special, it gets that treatment. As Fire Giant being looked at one more time. Now it's InControl who have the positional advantage around the objective. Cbeaarr nearby. Ultimate's available for everybody one more time. Bede's still down for Cbeaarr, though. He might be a little bit more vulnerable if he's not careful.
5-on-5, but it's InControl that don't have the goal lead, feeling like they want to push up a little bit. They don't want to allow Coalition the opportunity to engage with any sort of their blink shenanigans. A blink pluck from Beaudilla could be extra troublesome, especially onto Joltak that doesn't have the purification beats.
Major Stacks doesn't have his relics available either. Another 10 seconds or so before beads are back up, as Joltak does get stunned out. A nice tornado there to zone everyone out. But InControl aren't ready to put any damage into the Fire Giant just yet.
Wicked and Joltak trying to set something up with the wrap it up. But he has a little bit of cooldown reduction, trying to go through. Strategic commits on the dash. Beaudilla off the mark, but still forces out the beats from Outbound.
He didn't recognize he was going purely off the sound cues. Takes a few shots from the Fire Giant as well as the taunt comes out. Rygaklu gets gobbled up by Beaudilla. A nice kill that he's able to find. Wicked in some trouble as well. Xcovi drops the ultimate, but it's too little too late. He gets hit by the strife and is able to reposition.
Xcovi very low, but he's using his movement speed steroid to get him out of the action. Only losing your jungler. Still, Coalition could easily force out the Fire Giant now. This is a good spot to be in.
Fire Giant incredibly low. The left side Phoenix has been getting whittled down as well.
Oh yeah, look at that.
As those minions have pushed forward. Coalition will grab the Fire Giant, their second one of the game. And now they can try these tier 2 towers again. Remember, the last one did not go very well for them.
That's true. Xcovi putting off a great defense as he took out Strategic. He was able to clip Cbeaarr's wings along the side, and it was a little bit of an overextension from Coalition around the tier 2. This time around, they need to play it very carefully and just wait for some of these blink relics to come back up before they go for any Phoenixes. By the time they shove the left side, it'll get closer to the Phoenix, and those blinks will be relatively close to being available.
The tier 2 tower in mid has gone down. That leaves only the tier 2 tower on the solo side of the map. It looks like Coalition want to be here for the Gold Fury instead. They're not fully bought out yet, or at the very least strategic isn't, so they can certainly still upgrade relics. Start working on some 3K pots to make the sieges that much more valuable, and they don't want to leave it for InControl to grab and try and cut into this gold deficit as well. Coalition stripping the map before they push.
It's all a little bit of a checklist now as they need to, cross their T's, dot their I's before this last signature to grab the Titan. They need that right side tier 2 tower, trying to put the Titan a little bit more vulnerable, stripping away the protections, the health, the damage, all those little things that team's got to calculate.
I cross my I's and dot my T's.
Oh.
Yeah, I do things different.
Just funching around?
The funch way, as they say. I should write a book. The Way of the Funch. Chat, would you buy that?
I'd buy that. I'd be the first person.
Chat would be like, why are you
I'd be the first person
books?
On the line to get the signature and a crisp handshake.
That's right. Crisp handshakes will be not just there when I'm selling my book, but at HRX as well. Make sure you make your way to DreamHack. We'll be happy to see you all there.
HRX afterparty.eventbrite.com.
That's right. Let's take into the after party. With any luck, if you're an InControl fan, they'll be there as well. But Coalition wants to try and put a stop to that, at least here in Game 2. We're 35 minutes in. They've got the Fire Giant on everybody and all the blinks you can want. They're even upgraded, so they'll be a little sturdier after they blink in, and that's how they'll start the action. Kobe drops down the ultimate. It removes Cbeaarr from the game. Major Stacks responds by deleting Kobe as well, but that makes it 1-for-1. Rygaklu finds Major Stacks 3-on-3.
That's a 2-for-2. Holding on to dear life is that left side Phoenix. Not taking too much damage here as SweetPatato just casually rolling on by in his turtle shell. Still trying to hold on a little bit further. SweetPatato is going to commit here onto this Phoenix.
They are still trying to force this Phoenix down. It's not going to be very easy for them. Rygaklu jumps back in for the slow overhand smash there as well, and Coalition have got to fall back, only putting half damage onto the Phoenix, and InControl are not done yet. They get this movement speed and the heal coming through. They want a little more.
Oh, they definitely do. SweetPatato is still around the corner. Wicked is going to try to just zone away the other two. Joltak doesn't have the most damage, but he has enough healing to keep this chase going. It's going to wrap it up on top of strategic. Finding a root in place, gonna have another dash available. I don't know how far InControl can start chasing, because keep in mind, when Cbeaarr revives, he's gonna have that Jing Wei passive to help out.
But one more time, the siege from Coalition does not work for them totally. And this time, it was a bit of an overcommitment. Kobe, yes, gets caught out, but he once again is able to kind of find Cbeaarr on the back end of that fight with his ultimate. That really helped save this fight.
That's true. He didn't have the beats against the pluck, but he did have the ultimate right beforehand, and that's a primary target you want to knock out if you're going to knock out anyone in a Phoenix Sieges. You eliminate the Hunter, your Phoenix's chances of survival just exponentially increase.
And we saw it too. When Coalition tried to force the Phoenix down in the 3v3, they just did not have the structure damage to get it done. And InControl were able to force them back. Coalition have to give that one more try. Fire Giant will be back in a little bit less than a minute. And they can try and pick it up one more time and push in. But they might have to try and split the focus of InControl. I mean, Coalition, I don't know if they can just 5v5 brute force it.
Definitely not. I don't think either team can 5v5 brute force it at any point of the game. Interestingly enough, Kobe sells his Divine Ruin for that Soul Reaver. Wanted to get off more damage against some of these higher health targets.
You can't heal if you're dead, totally.
That's true. You certainly cannot. And I believe we're going to see a Pythagorum's piece potentially out of Kobe.
Yeah, very interesting. I wonder if that is where he's going to go. We'll certainly keep our eye on the mid lane for InControl, who's up at the top of the player damage charts. Yeah, hitting multiple people with your ultimate will do that. 26,218 is quite a bit that Kobe's putting out already in this game. As you can see from those gold experience charts, Coalition's still in the lead, but it's going to matter less and less. Everybody level 20 at this point, experience irrelevant. Gold matters only for the potions. And InControl, even though they didn't lose a Phoenix, they don't want to come fight on the Fire Giant at all. Coalition will grab it.
It's going to be their third try now with this Fire Giant attempt. Having a very comfortable 16,000 gold lead, even having a 3K defense pot onto Beaudilla. It's going to put him in a good spot to receive less damage from these Phoenixes, as it also persists through depth after some of the recent changes we did.
Right.
6-minute duration.
To try and help with some of these sieges, which some teams have gotten stalled up on a little bit, but some of that also is that, you know, you might have to adjust the way that you're familiar with doing them. You can't just barrel your way in anymore, even with a lead, and Coalition really no longer have that, aside from some potion differences there might be out there, and the Fire Giant buff itself. This game is very, very even, and look at that from Xcovi. I mean, that's why it's so frustrating. That tornado is so safe.
Yeah, it covers up about 80% of that little opening, so you got to bait it out and then go for round 2.
You got to try and get him to use it, but
you got blinks as well from Beaudilla and SweetPatato to maybe try to do a defensive kind of tornado instead of using it to clear the wave.
Right.
And then Cbeaarr can go in.
It was Soul Gem that Xcovi went with.
Yeah, I noticed that.
End. Yeah.
Definitely a safer choice.
Yes.
Whereas if you were to go for Pythax piece, you're basically allowing Joltak to benefit a little bit from it as well. Some extra physical power and lifesteal doesn't hurt as well for some of the sieges and defenses, but if you do proc that Soul Gem, 40% of your magical power extra on that next ability, that Spirit of the 9 wins? Yes, please.
This is the proc build, I believe, is what it's called. We can get the Soul Reaver and the Soul Gem to build proc on the same target. Almost certainly they will be one-shotted as Beaudilla finds the beach from Outbound. The apple right there to follow up. That will hit Joltak only as he drops Shell. Wicked is half HP, so is Joltak, and Coalition have some free space to burn the Phoenix.
Oh, the ultimate from Xcovi is going to hit Strategic and Beaudilla. Tornado is going to help Outbound finally get the last hit there, but Wicked falls, and there goes the front line from InControl.
That makes it 1-for-1, 2-for-1 now that Joltak comes through and finds Strategic. The mid-Phoenix still stands somehow through all of that, and it's Coalition who've lost really the entirety of their front line. InControl, still with Outbound, and Xcovi can happily defend.
They're trying so hard to siege this middle Phoenix, but Kukulkan is probably the best mage to play defense. Joltak needs to be careful. He's taking too many pot shots.
But that's enough from InControl. One more time, totally they forced back Coalition. You said it before, they've gotten 3 Fire Giants, they made 3 attempts, and all 3 attempts have gotten stuffed at the rim, like they're 6'5" rim protecting gamer there in between them.
6'5". Why aren't we going for like Mutombo status?
Well, because there's no gamer like this person I'm speaking of. Mutombo, there's gamers like him. I mean, there's people out there like Mutombo. Nothing special. So. Either way, Coalition still having some trouble finding a way all the way through into the actual base of InControl, who are happy to try and cling on. They absolutely need this win. Even if they have to go to Game 3, it's still enough for InControl, but it would certainly be, I'm sure, easier on their hearts if they could just do it here.
Oh, absolutely. InControl are just waiting for that right moment where they're going to pick off like 4 or 5 people and then look for the siege. And they might need 2 team wipes. 1 team wipe might not be enough for InControl to secure the victory.
That's a good point. There's still a tier 1 tower in the middle, and a couple tier 2s as well. The Titan might be a little bit too tanky, even if they do group up and push down that right side, because they have to worry about the Titan HP.
It depends where the team wipe happens. If the team wipe happens at InControl's Phoenix sieges, or at their own Phoenixes, rather, then by the time they get up to the Phoenix of Coalition and they knock that one down and enter the throne room, everyone from Coalition should be respawned. And without the ultimate from Xcovi, I don't see how InControl can get it off the first team wipe.
It's going to be very, very difficult for them, but they should have a chance. We haven't talked much, but Xcovi has the Gem of Isolation, an item that we like to see on some of these mid lane mages, especially one like the Kukulkan that can apply it so easily. That slow is obnoxious in these fights.
Oh yes, absolutely. Just ticking over and over again. I believe it ticks for a total of 6 times, if I'm not mistaken.
I can believe it.
That's why Spirit of the Magus works so well. You only need about 5 ticks to be able to get that one rolling. So Gem of Isolation gonna be extra annoying.
Let's take a look at that Whirlwind. Oh yeah, I just call it the Tornado. I guess it is called the Whirlwind.
Okay, so for 4 seconds, and it ticks every half second for an additional 2.5.
For a maximum 12. That's an absurd amount.
6.5 seconds.
I guess if you just stood in it
technically
the whole time,
13. It can take 13 times total if you just stand in there.
Hopefully, no one does that, as Coalition will grab their 4th Fire Giant of the game totally. Easy for Finch to recall that one. and then go try one more time to break into the base of InControl. And so far, it has proved difficult, man. This InControl team, not only are they defending, but they're winning the fight as well. 1 for 2 in their favor, or 2 for 3 in their favor. They've done a good job so far.
A lot of it is due to just a huge space control between not only Xcovi, but Rygaklu. Those Fear No Evils are crucial in the defense. And Coalition are going to need to split it somehow to at least get Rygaklu away from the 5-on-5. So they'd rather make it a 1v1 where SmiteVOD is dealing with Rygaklu and have a 4-on-4 for the rest of the encounter. But then you got Xcovi to worry about.
Looks like Joltak is changing up the build path here totally. I guess so. Maybe still working on trying to grab Mantle. But he doesn't have a full 6 item.
Not quite yet.
Might be a little bit more vulnerable on this one, because I think he was 6-slotted and sold to work on something else. Probably. I gotta imagine by now he was 6-slotted.
Yes. I mean, when your team has a collective 92,000 gold, you better be 6-slotted soon.
Well, Joltak takes quite a bit of damage. Earth and Fury hits as well. The Apple follows him, and the left side Phoenix goes down very, very quickly. Outbound looked for some snipes, but it wasn't enough. Coalition, very healthy, can re-siege.
And that was without SmiteVOD there, and that was also without Rygaklu. And that's where the difference really lies. SmiteVOD can really melt these Phoenixes if left unchecked, so somebody has to play defense. And honestly, I almost like to see Wicked defend against SmiteVOD because you need Fear No Evil in conjunction with Spirit of the Nine Winds for the defense.
It's one of their better tools for defending. As Strife lands on Wicked, he gets chunked by the damage coming out from this late game Discordia. Red buff there along with the Fire Giant is swinging.
Beaudilla took a lot of damage from that one tornado. SmiteVOD thinking about sieging the right side of the Phoenix. Still 5-on-5, but in a 4-1 split between the middle and the right side. Phoenix Coalition are looking to extend this to a Game 3. Trying to find this set victory up against the undefeated InControl that's only one more game victory away from clenching the HRX placements.
Wicked goes aggressively and is able to find the knock-up. Major Stack is low on the backside, but he has the Apple back. Rygaklu blinks right into it and meets his maker. Major Stacks comes up big. Xcovi finds nothing with his own ultimate. The space is cleared, and Coalition ready to fight.
The taunt is there, but no one else follows up because they're still working on that middle Phoenix. Coalition stripped away 2 Phoenixes, took away Xcovi's ultimate, eliminated Rygaklu's life now in a 5-on-4 for 55 seconds. They got all 3 Phoenixes finished. This is their time to end and stretch this to a Game 3.
Minions pouring in from every conceivable angle. Coalition still not ready to actually move into the Titan room just yet. They've got the 5v4. They don't really have very many ultimates. Perhaps that's why they're being patient. As InControl, clear out the minions and try and find a way in, but it's going to be Beaudilla who blinks in. He's got the charge prey to bring Xcovi back, and Major Stacks removes him quite cleanly. Now for a chance to reposition from Cbeaarr. The Titan's down to about half HP. Even though the health bars are getting low, Coalition have the damage. MySweetPatato finds Outbound, and Coalition grab the game over InControl.
The game number 3, Finch, is about to commence because Coalition are just making it happen against the undefeated InControl. Spectacular performance, I would say, from SmiteVOD on the Erlang Shen.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the key to the success. Game number 1, it was Wicked. Game number 2, it's going to be the jungler on the opposite side, just really making it happen.
This has not been easy, though, for either team. This Game 2 victory was hard fought, but a nice win there for Coalition. A chance to finally get a set victory over InControl in this Game 3. But who was your MVP from Game 2? Make sure you let us know in Mixer Chat. We'll tally up those votes.
It's gotta be the Erlang Shen, right? Certainly.
Yes. I don't know, man. It was such a strong performance from him. It's hard to say it was just the Erlang Shen, but he was the one that was diving into the backline. He was the one that was putting in plenty of damage for him. That's making it hard to happen. I was paying so much attention to InControl, and in particular what Xcovi was going to do. It's hard to say, but you're right. That Erlang Shen's impact was huge.
Yeah, I think the difference here between Beaudilla and SmiteVOD, both being able to blink the backline, made it more difficult for Xcovi on the Kukulkan. That had some great ultimates and defenses in the mid portion of the game, but couldn't make it happen in the very last Phoenix Siege, where he missed his ultimate there, and as a result, it allowed the rest of Coalition to just keep going through.
Sounds like the MVP is going to be SmiteVOD on the Susano. Oh, not the Susano, not this
That was Game 1.
The Erlang Shen this time around, and is able to make it work. I'm being told with the headset to call it Potato, and I refuse. I will say Potato.
I don't care if he's misspelled it.
Yeah, that's how I feel, by the way. If you're gonna spell your names all wrong, then I'm going to say whatever I want to. spell your names all weird, then I'll say what I want.
Like Pop Uller?
Yeah, I call him Popular because that's how he spelled it.
Pretty much.
If you want it to be popular, write that.
Be the first one.
Be first. Yeah, that's my official analysis on this one. But yeah, SweetPatato selected by Mixer Chat out there, and totally, I think y'all both hit the nail on the head with this one. His impact in this game, and it wasn't just late. I know the game stalemated for a while and kind of slowed down, but SweetPatato was getting it done for them early as well. If you can kind of go back 40 minutes ago to that, you know.
It was a long time ago.
It was 40 minutes ago.
Back in 1492, where we sailed across the ocean blue.
I don't want to go back that far.
Hey, we're going to a game 3, Finch.
Getting ready, though, to move into that game 3. We've already talked about a little bit, right, how important that this game is for both of these teams. Technically, still a chance for Coalition if they're able to get the win here to try and get it done in Week 6. But if InControl win here, they just close it out. No more worrying, no more crying. We know who's going, at least from PS4 and NA.
That's right, and that's going to be so important for them because they are in control of their own destiny.
And they'd like to be, certainly, in control. We're going to get everything in control for you, at least here in the studio. A quick break while we get all the players ready for the next game. We'll be right back for the conclusion.